So I've never posted on this sub before, although I do have other stories I've kept buried until recently. But this one is happening now, in the present. I've had people stalk and follow me before, and because of that, and my true crime addiction, I've become supremely paranoid and a solid curtain twitcher. I reside in an upstairs room that was my first room to myself as a child. I had to leave a bad situation, and therefore ended up back at my childhood home. For reference, when our house was built, we were told that the field to our left, with horses and a barn at the time, would one day soon be a development. It was 2000 when we were told that, and it wasn't until 2022 that roads started being formed and foundations laid. I'd already had someone follow me home before when I was young. I posted about it but don't know how to link, but I was in a different bedroom next door. My parents put in a free library that's right below my window and nighttime security lights that are very bright and turn on. If you're within like 20 feet of the side of my house, my room is on. I'll admit, having an open field next to me for so long made me accustomed to not closing the curtains when I change because there was never anyone to watch. Now there is. For the past 2 weeks, the motion lights next to the free library have been going off late at night. Because one side of my curtain is open so I can use my vape, that's the only reason I noticed at all. At first, I didn't think too much of it. We lock all the doors and windows every night, and I'm on the second floor. I also always looked out to see if it was a car, someone walking their dog, or a deer, only to see nothing. Plus, they put in a ton of streetlights around this area, so visibility is great, but it just kept happening. So last night, I did my usual, and sure enough, I saw the lights come on again. I pretended nothing was wrong and gave a full view out the window, pretending I was going to bed. It was about 3 a.m. I turned off the TV, closed the window and curtains, and turned off the light. Then I ducked down, peering through the curtains to the sidewalk below. I honestly thought I was going to pass out when, after a few minutes, someone emerged from the side of my house. All silhouette, dressed in black. They kept their back to me until the light turned off, but I swear I could still see them standing there, looking up like they could see me. I called the police, but while I was on the phone with the operator, I saw him run off. There wasn't much they could do, except say they'd have a car drive around and look. My parents are asleep, and I know I have to tell them tomorrow. This scares the crap out of me. If it hadn't been happening for weeks and was a solo incident, I would probably be fine about it, but the fact that the light has been going off without me seeing activity and what happened tonight makes me think this person has been watching me and watching my house. To the person outside my window, let's please never meet. Small update. I did tell my parents, and at first, they brushed me off, claiming I'd had a couple of drinks and it was late, so I probably just saw someone checking out the library. I then had another conversation about it with just my dad, who said that there had been reports the last couple of weeks of car break-ins, and since my car is parked on my side of the street right outside my window, maybe they were trying to break into it. I pointed out that if he was trying to get into my car, why was he pressed up against the house where he wasn't visible from my window? And why did he at no point go towards my car? I think I freaked him out enough that we are going to potentially get a camera for that area. Given all the development happening around us, I think it's smart even without this incident. Thank you all for your advice and replies. I'll update here again if anything happens. I'm not sure if this is related to my previous posts about the person watching through my window and banging on my garage with a crowbar, but I'm worried that everything might be connected somehow. A week ago from this last Saturday, I was supposed to meet a man who had contacted me through social media with friends in common. It wasn't an obvious date, more like a pre-date. However, we didn't get there, as he randomly blocked me out of nowhere, then unblocked and apologized, thinking everything was normal and we were still hanging out. When I didn't respond at all, seeing some major red flags in his behavior, he reached out to tell me I had thin skin for not just going along with it and meeting him in a debatably isolated place. I brushed it off only to get a message from a different man, seemingly unconnected, blatantly asking for a date exactly a week later. I asked him up front, and kind of rudely, why he'd reached out and wanted to date me, but he was seemingly unfazed. We seemed to have a lot in common, and we were supposed to meet tonight. Here's where it gets weird. I asked him if we should meet at 6 in a particular spot. He saw it but said nothing. I figured since he was at work he was busy. But then nothing all day, and when I checked in again, he saw it after we were supposed to meet and still nothing. He pursued me, just like the last guy. But this time, it made me more nervous because it feels like he wanted to make sure I was at a certain place at a certain time. For the record, it is a public place, but also very dark in the parking lot and somewhat rural. I didn't think much of that at first, as it's a place I've gone to all my life. But it feels like something is going on here. These two men did not reach out through a dating app. I'm not on any yet, as I wasn't sure about being ready to date again and wanted to let things happen, not happen organically. They found me through social media. Maybe it's not connected, but commenters on the other posts pointed out how easy it is to find someone's address through social media. And these last two men reaching out in such a way, acting in such a way, in such a close time frame makes me wonder. Maybe my window watching garage door banger is separate. Hell, maybe even those are two separate people. I'm not sure what's scarier, but I'm thinking it's scarier if all of this is somehow connected, as my gut tells me. I just don't believe in coincidences, and all of these things happening at the same time are so suspicious to me. I'll just continue going to my gun handling safety courses, and I start Muay Thai next month, so there's that. Hope this wasn't a boring update. I really feel a bad feeling about these two guys, and even if they aren't connected, I hope we don't meet, ETA. I forgot to add that, as many helpful and worried commenters suggested, we have added 4 exterior cameras. Bad news? If you didn't see it in one of my comments on the previous post, my mom lost her keys. They have an AirTag, and the police have made several attempts to retrieve them unsuccessfully. We don't always know the location. We have all been keeping bedroom doors locked, and there are no extra keys in the main areas to those bedrooms, but it's still very scary. Having the whole house rekeyed, and my mom has been using my dad's car since she goes to the neighborhood they're in for work. So yay, on top of all these weird, anxiety-inducing incidents, someone out there also has keys to my house. I honestly wish I weren't writing this right now. I've had weeks of peace, with only the ping of my overactive camera system alerting me to people passing by with their dogs or children. I thought everything was fine, and maybe this isn't the most dramatic update, but it was just another scary tick mark to add to the list. I got an alert to activity outside the garage. Given my garage door crowbar banger, that's the one I always pay most attention to, honestly. I keep weird hours and hadn't been on my phone, so at first, I thought my dad was leaving for work. Then I saw the recording it made instants later. This man walked boldly up to the car in the driveway and tried the handles of the doors before running off. I called the police with a good description and told them I have it on video, but my town doesn't have a large police force, and some of them are just like in any department, shady and lazy. I've rewatched it over and over, and I can tell that he has the same build as the man I saw in my first post. That's obviously not definitive, but now I have a better description that I couldn't see before due to lack of lighting and cameras. I'm still pretty shaky, even though he didn't try to get in or anything. I was outside not half an hour ago, though in the fenced backyard. I hope this isn't a lame update. It feels like it to me because still nothing is solved. And even though it might be unrelated, is that actually probable? That one person and or their house would attract so much trouble from completely different individuals? It doesn't seem likely. To the man outside my house tonight, let's never meet. Second edit of the night. I was visited by the police who very kindly didn't ring the bell. Parents asleep have been texted about all of this. I gave all the evidence and they'd found the guy. I don't know for absolute sure it was the same man that banged on my garage or watched from the window, but I do know that they caught this guy, and my video footage will be used, I guess. I don't know. I was really doubtful they'd actually send someone due to the chastising text message. Non-emergency was closed, so I just called the regular line. As I'd mentioned in an earlier post about this incident, my dad had told me there had been a lot of car thefts in the neighborhood. The weirdest part to me, that I think I must just be imagining, is that he looks, from the somewhat fuzzy camera styles, quite a bit like the guy I had a one-night stand with a couple of months ago, right around when this all started. I really didn't think it could be him, but I'm hoping that since I'm supposed to get the ring footage to that officer tomorrow, don't have access to that one, I can ask who this person is. I'm hoping it's all over now, and am so thankful for those who provided me with great advice, which gave me a lot of comfort. Unless I'm wrong and there is a second person, statistically unlikely, this will be my last update on a thankfully closed chapter.
Thank you for listening, friends. We'll see you next time.